Hijacked. Basically, when the fight or flight response has been initiated in the body, fear comes on, fight or flight kicks in, and you're pretty much doing anything you can to get out of that situation. Um, this was a great attribute when we were living in jungles and in caves, and there were real dangers, lions and tigers around corners, and if you didn't run, you died. Those are our ancestors that didn't make it. Those are not our ancestors because they're not here. Um, the ones who did make it had that response, and it saved their lives, and it was very necessary in that time and that place, and it still is sometimes in certain areas and certain places in the world when you need to respond or react quickly. Fight or flight has to be kicked in for you to make the appropriate response. Unfortunately, that's not really the way it works anymore. If you just turn on the TV or look at the news anywhere, it's just all fear all the time. Constantly people being triggered and hijacked and just in a state of constant fear pretty much. And when you're in a state of fear, fight or flight, triggered, you are not cognitive. You are basically all common sense and reasoning goes out the window. Terrible time to have a conversation with somebody, terrible time to make important decisions, terrible time to do anything of a really productive manner, and doesn't really have a place in most people's day-to-day life. However, that's not the case. We're kind of pretty much shoved fear down in our faces, down our throats all the time. So got to give it justice because it's got us as far as we've gotten. It's a very necessary part of the human experience, but it's time that we move past that. And so enough about the problem, the solution. That's what we're looking at now. So great ways that I have learned to get through fear when I feel it creeping in is obviously one, meditation. Just to see it, to kind of like step back and see it for what it is. I mean, that's basically what meditation is, to become familiar with. That's what the meaning of meditation means. And that's basically becoming familiar with what you are and what you are not. And another great way of doing that is breath work. There's certain types of breath work, like box breath, for example. Navy SEALs use it before they go into combat because it calms you down and it gets you alert and ready. There's lots of other ones you can do too, like Tumo, which is a great one to kind of like training for a fear situation, because you're actually increasing your heart rate. You're actually getting yourself into a state of adrenaline flowing through your body, but you're in a totally calm state. So it kind of even helps you step back further and see it from a different perspective, what fear could be possibly creeping up inside of you. These are all powerful tools and techniques to identify the issue inside yourself, the fear that should not necessarily be there, that is not helping the situation at all, and a means of getting through that fear and knowing the truth of who you are, which is life. It's just basically who you are. The essence of who you are is life and love, and fear has nothing to do with that. So we got to get through fear. We got to get through that state of hijackedness as soon as possible so we can move forward as a species. Thank you.